shit.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mac here. I'm here with the homie Brallio, man. We just came from watching the fucking UFC fights, bro. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman, man.
That was so fucking unreal, bro.
Yeah, right?
So crazy.
Absolutely fucking insane, man. So, Kamaru Usman had a minute left, legit, probably 60 seconds left of the fight, and he was dominating. Yeah, so Leon Edwards probably had the first round, and Kamaru Usman had the last 3 rounds. That made 4 rounds, and then on the 5th round, with 60 seconds left to go, Leon Edwards lands a fucking left high leg kick straight to the temple jaw and just put Kamaru Usman to fucking sleep, man.
It's one thing to drop a guy, especially at that level.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional fighter. I'm like this UFC's not my life. Like, I know people, when people talk about topics in terms of sport, there's always commentators. There's always people that are like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I know, bro. I'm just giving you my perspective as a regular, I guess, person, you could say. But to see a UFC champion like Usman, who has a fucking dominating career, the way he does, it's one thing to get dropped, right, and then kind of scrap when you're down. It's another thing to just be staring at the fucking lights, not having any response.
Yeah.
Not having any
stiff
control
leg.
of your body. Stiff. There's a different type of humiliation in that, I think, as a man, especially because we're such primal creatures.
Yeah.
And to see something like that where you're losing, you're the underdog, and I fucking love nothing more than seeing an underdog win a fight, even if I personally like the fucking top guy.
Yeah, dude. Nothing beats an underdog winning for sure.
An underdog winning is like it's why you love the sport.
Yeah,
like you were mentioning, man.
Yeah, UFC, man, it's like anything MMA. It's so fascinating because it's so unpredictable. Like, throughout the fight we were watching, right, and like at points we were like, okay, well, this is very high level technical fighting. It's good, but it's so high level and technical, it's kind of like boring, right? It was like,
I guess like it can
right?
get to that, and when you put yourself in the perspective of just a spectator, right?
Yeah,
because like there was the fight with Costa and Rockhold, and people start booing, right? And like you mentioned, like, I hate when people boo, and I do too.
Yeah,
because they're doing things that are actually detrimental to like trying to win a fight.
Yeah.
But as a spectator, you want to see standing bangs.
Yeah, that's what they want to see. Yeah.
You want to see showy, flashy. You want to see knockouts. Like, you want to see knockouts like Usman.
Yeah.
Knocked out, or like even like Usman knocked out Masvidal. That was such a crazy. I didn't expect that.
But I feel like this topped that though. The Leon Edwards knockout.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, like, I didn't know who was Leon Edwards?
Yeah.
Leon Edwards?
Yep.
So like, I don't really keep up with it.
Yeah.
I watch fights, I enjoy it. I didn't really know who Edwards was. I was like, who's this guy? Whatever. Obviously he's earned his position to fight for the belt. But me personally, I was like, I don't know who this guy is. And the dude next to us, I never even got his name. It's kind of rude of me. But yeah, we were all talking with each other, and he was saying that they had fought before.
Yeah,
and Usman, he beat him, and I asked him, like, do you think the fact that Usman has already beat him once is putting him at a certain mindset where he doesn't have to take him seriously as a fighter? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like in his mind, he's like, man, I've already beat this guy. This guy's easy work.
Yeah,
like, your guard is a little more down.
I think, of
your
course, right?
Is overpowering that.
Absolutely.
And I never even watched the first, his first fight with Edwards.
Yeah,
I didn't see how dominating that was. I didn't see, I don't know much. I don't even know who Edwards is.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I do remember the events of the fight. I don't really remember. I just knew that Kamaru Usman won. But at the beginning, right, I told you, look, Kamaru got the hands. His hand speed is there. His technicality.
Yeah, you fucking called it too, bro.
His movements in and out, it's fucking there, right? But then I told you, hey, Leon Edwards, his kick game is phenomenal, right? It's like, I probably said that phenomenal. Yeah, I'm a little bit tips.
For sure, yeah.
His kick
My
game is
kick's
phenomenal,
insane.
right? So, like, I know that he throws a lot of leg kicks, and then what fucking caught Kamaru Usman was a fucking leg kick,
dude,
man.
it was so gross.
Dude, with 60 seconds left, it was like we was watching the fight. It was like, okay, well, I think like midway through the fight, I said like, okay, well, Usman got it in the bag. You know what I mean? All he has to do is
I think he felt like that too.
right.
And because that other guy kind of mentioned too, he's like he's coasting.
Yeah,
Which you could tell. It did look like, as Usman, and I'd kind of put myself in that position. I think if I was a fighter,
yeah,
I've won the majority of the rounds. I just got to make sure to just kind of coast it. Your guard isn't so high up. You're just kind of trying to waste time. And then homeboy just pulls out something out of left field, bro. And
I think I disagree though, because I didn't find Usman like coasting throughout it. I think he was applying pressure. I think it was very technical. I think the stand up and the ground game was where it's at. He wasn't really as aggressive
in his last round, though, is what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't as aggressive as his other rounds, because he was aggressive. I'm not saying he wasn't aggressive. I'm just saying the very last round, he was just kind of like, all right, this is it. I got it in the bag. I just got to make sure I survive.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I really didn't. I just thought he just got caught. I think he was applying pressure all throughout the rounds. I think it was maintaining a good pace in regards to like what he was doing and his game plan going in there. I just think he got caught, man. Legit. I just think he got caught.
A good setup. I mean, how many kicks
did Leon?
I'm trying to remember, but
I don't know how many
tipsy.
kicks. I don't know how many kicks he threw. It couldn't be much. It could have been more than 5, honestly.
But it was perfectly set up. Like, a lot of people are like, "Do you think he got lucky?"
No.
And that's what I told the homeboy that was sitting next to us. I'm like, to a kick like that, usually you can tell when somebody just throws a kick in there.
Yeah.
It's a little half-assed. You're just kind of hoping it lands.
Yeah.
You're seeing, if you throw a kick out half-assed, you're kind of seeing where you're at, right? You're trying to read the game. But that was a solid base kick. That was a specific setup, a very specific setup for a left kick to the dome. So at that point, you kind of ask yourself, like, has he been reading him and knowing how he's going to react to where he tells himself, if I do this and this is open. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I throw my left and right, what's open? I'm seeing him feint to the right, to the left, whatever. I'm seeing an opening. You do that consistently, because that's essentially when they teach you, like, just basic boxing, right? Your jab's never really going to be a knockout hit. Your jab is to see what your opponent's going to react to. You pop that jab out, you're seeing, does he parry? Does he block it? Does he lean left, right? And you throw that jab out, you throw a jab out long enough, you start seeing consistencies in people's patterns. Because as human beings, we have that tendency to just follow a pattern. We can't help it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The jab is to create openings
if you're constantly just reacting, there tends to be a pattern, and that's the thing that I started learning about UFC. It's not really just about fucking power shots and all these crazy stuff. It's like most people say, it's like a game of chess. You're trying to see how people react, and when people are there's a very specific phrase, and I'm trying to remember it. We're like creatures of habit, something like that.
Yeah, we're all creatures of habit, for sure.
And we have tendencies.
Yep.
And it doesn't fall short of being in a fight.
Yeah.
We have tendencies in a fight. We do things that make us feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We do things that
That's why watching tape of your opponent is so important, so you could find out what their tendencies are and where they lean to whenever a jab is thrown, or a hook.
You throw a jab out long enough, you start seeing this guy's going to the inside every time. And then you can, based on your training, your knowledge, you can assess and adjust and see what openings you can create. Because
that's what's happening, right?
It's very possible, because that kick that he knocked him out with was not just a Hail Mary attempt. It wasn't a wild kick. That was specifically strategically placed.
It was precise.
It was very
fucking
precise.
Beautiful.
Very precise.
I think that the timing is what makes it questionable, in the sense of, like, well, was it a fluke, or you know what I mean? It's not a fluke in the sense of his strategy and probably his game plan, but it's a fluke in the sense of the timing. 60 seconds left.
In the very first round, Edwards was throwing low kicks.
Yep.
And
for his knees.
Right.
Because Usman has bad knees.
But here's the thing. Usman was using his arms. He was dropping his arms to block or parry those kicks. In the very first round. I did notice that. He was throwing leg kicks and he was using he was dropping his hands. And, you know, I wasn't sitting there and saying he's going to get caught like that.
Yeah.
But looking back now, I do remember telling myself that's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
You can check, you know, I've taken a couple classes and they tell you check leg kicks with your leg.
Yeah.
Check.
So you're getting at the fact that Leon probably noticed that throughout the rounds and started setting up for the high.
Could have very well been
the high leg kick.
It could have very well been an assessment that he made to where anytime he threw a specific combination or anytime he'd go for a leg kick, Usman was reacting a certain way. And I do think Usman absolutely had his confidence through the fucking roof, and he was dominating.
Yeah, which he should. He's a fucking.
And it was very, you know, I feel like I wouldn't say he was like over cocky. I think he knew what the fuck he was doing.
And what he's capable of too.
But
he's like,
there's
you know,
just that little bit of underestimation I think he had with Edwards.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that I guess he's beaten him once before.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long ago that was. I guess it was a while ago.
Could have been 2018, 2019.
And there's a lot of progress that can be made in 4
Could
years.
Have been. Yeah.
So much progress that can be made in 4 years.
Yeah.
Definitely two different caliber fighters than when they first met.
Yeah. So here's the next question then. In the rematch, you think Usman comes back and beat him?
Man, I don't keep up with it too much. You know what I mean? I do. My own perspective being that he's beaten him once.
Yeah.
He's a world champ. He's had the belt. He's on top of the world. I feel like he underestimated him a little bit in this fight. So in this, they most likely will give him a third fight, right?
Yeah.
For one, it's money. Two, there's no way you can just leave it at that. Usman's gonna be wanting to come back for that. He's not just gonna fold over. You know, he's not just gonna give up the belt like that. So if he still has it in him, which I think he does, he's definitely gonna double down and try to take him more seriously than maybe based on the simple fact that he's beaten him once before. And the guy next to me mentioned that he would never even mention Edwards. He was looking past him. Like Usman's mental state was just like, this is just another dude.
Yeah, he's a journeyman.
I'm not worried about him.
Yeah.
But now that he's actually taken his belt, maybe Usman's gonna have like a reality check and actually put in the work. And I feel like Usman could come back and be like, "Fuck you, bro. This is my shit."
Yeah.
Like that match, that last round, was a fucking fluke, and I'm coming back to show you what the fuck is up.
Yeah, I mean, I think a knockout like that kind of hurts not only the ego but the confidence as well too, man. Because like he was talking to his striking coach in the corner. It was like basically like, you know, like what happened, and striking coach was breaking it down for him. He was like, okay, you know what I mean. I gotta say though, Usman handled the defeat like a true champion.
Like a champ, absolutely.
Yeah, he was humble.
Absolutely.
He stood up there, chin up, chest out. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm gonna take this L. Yeah. You know, and I'm gonna come up better.
I can 100% respect that loss as another man looking at a
fuck
fighter.
Man, like this is why I love the UFC though, man. It's like you never know. With 60 seconds left, it was like, okay, this is the main event. It was very technical. It was very strategic, and like everything was going how you think it was going. It was great to see the stand up, the ground game of Usman, and then boom, 60 seconds left. It's like fucking like kick to the dome. Men's is out, bro. Men's is out. You know what I mean?
After the third round, because they're bigger dudes, right? They got the muscle.
Yeah, I think they're like at
one.
I don't know what weight class is. 170.
Yeah, but at that, what I'm saying is even at that weight, you have to pace yourself, right? Because you understand that you can't have the consistency of speed in terms of like throwing combinations and moving around like the featherweights and the bantamweights and all these like lightweight fighters, right? They can maintain a level of speed through those 5 rounds.
Yeah.
When you start getting into middleweight, light heavyweight, you have to learn how to pace yourself because you understand you're a bigger dude and just as much conditioning as you can put yourself through, your tank is not going to be enough to maintain your physique at that weight. You know what I mean? So I do feel like they weren't pushing in full throttle for the first 4 rounds. Maybe the first round they were because at that level with those at that weight class, it's either like a first round knockout or it goes the distance. Because after they pass the first round, right, they try to get those knockout hits. Yeah, they kind of realize we're gonna have to slow the pace down because I cannot keep the speed and this pace consistently for the next 3 rounds. Right? Yeah, from round 2 to 4. When it's a 5-round fight at that weight class,
5 minute 5 rounds.
If it's not in the first round, you're gonna have to learn how to maintain a level of pace that's still competitive and applies pressure, but you're not exerting too much force because you won't make it to the 5th round at that weight class. And you see it a lot with the bigger dudes. Yeah, and it makes the fight interesting because you see all these smaller fighters and they're able to keep up a level of speed through the entire 5 rounds, and it's unreal. Sometimes I can say I much enjoy the lighter weight classes.
Yeah, it's more explosive. Fights. It's more.
They're super quick.
Yeah, it's a lot of spark.
The whatever tank they have, right? Because I do believe people have a limit when it comes to their endurance. But if you were to put that same tank in a bigger body, you're gonna have to learn how to pace it, right? It's like putting a 12 gallon tank in a 4-cylinder vehicle compared to a 12-gallon tank in a diesel. Am I getting too far off?
No. I'm trying. I'm trying to understand the analogy. A 12-gallon tank in a 4-banger and then a 12-gallon tank in a diesel. I'm trying to think. The diesel's going to run through that 12-gallon tank a lot quicker than the 4-banger.
You know what? I won't say diesel. I'll say maybe like a 4-cylinder versus a fucking V8. Or like a supercar, right? Like a lot of the times you have like R8 or like Lambos. They gotta fucking these motherfuckers be racing on the freeway, right?
I'm thinking, right? So like how high power cars burn through fuel a lot faster. So like
they use more fuel.
Yeah, so if you're like heavier weight class,
power, they're quicker. Yeah, but that fuel isn't gonna last you as long. If
I got
you. Just have it floored.
I got you.
All right,
I got you.
Myself
no, you're absolutely.
I'm a mechanic. Not everybody.
No, you're 100% clear, man. I'm just I'm just trying to figure out the analogy right now. Like my brain.
So like a 12-gallon tank on a much lighter, on a much lighter fighter, they're gonna be able to fucking last.
Yeah.
3 to 5 rounds
100% correct.
at a ridiculous speed, explosiveness.
Yeah.
Versus you get to the bigger guys, you get it's either those first round knockouts like those 2 fighters that we saw, the prelims that we saw. I think it was at the gym.
Oh, the light heavy with
they both
Pedro,
had,
I think the dude from Australia.
Yes, they both had first round knockouts, right? That's what they had majority. Yeah. And Pedro just had the quicker. He had like the quicker knockouts in the first round. Yeah. So at that level, it's either going to be a first round fight or it's going the distance.
I see what
but
you're
usually
saying.
You see the distance going with at that weight class. You see the distance going with the like more the championship contenders, the dudes that have been in for a while, the guys that are fighting for the belt. Yeah. At that lower class, it's like it's most likely going to the first round.
Yeah.
But if that other dude were to survive the first round, it would have been a much slower, in my opinion, from what I've seen in previous fights. It would have been a slower 2, 3, 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean that's normally how it goes.
Because at that point you're a bigger dude. You got the knockout power. Yeah. But you can't be throwing Hail Marys every fucking round and expecting to make the distance. Yeah. So at that point with Usman and Edwards, I think they were maintaining their tank, right? Their endurance. And then I just feel like Usman got too comfortable and he got caught. He
Yeah,
caught
he
because
got
he knew he was
he got
dominating.
fucking sparked, man.
And he was dominating, bro.
Yeah,
he
he
was
got
absolutely all
sparked.
over Edwards.
That's for my boy though, but he got sparked, man.
He did, and that's like you said. That's what makes this sport fucking crazy.
I thought it was funny, right? So I posted it to Instagram stories, and Brallio is in the background. He's like, "Yeah, that's for my boy Masvidal."
That was crazy, bro. That was a crazy fight. I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Usman.
Yeah,
Usman is a fucking monster.
he used to get so much hate, man. So much hate.
Yeah,
so much hate.
Masvidal is just that loudmouth bad boy.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Miami. He, I first saw him through all those Kimbo Slice videos, those backyard fights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Same.
And yeah, bro. I got exposed to shit like that, like by my boy Darian, who I told you about. He's got his,
Yeah.
But he'd show me videos of like, Kimbo Slice, and I was like, who the fuck is Kimbo Slice? And he'd show me all these videos. R.I.P. to a fucking legend.
Yeah,
bro. Absolute legend. Even made it to
the UFC.
He even made it to the UFC.
Backyard brawler, bro.
I think the first videos he saw me they weren't even fights, bro. the fucking videos of this fool being in fucking football pads and a helmet, and he just fucking levels guys, bro. Like they would hire Kimbo Slice. They'd either hire him or they just pull pranks, like somebody would be like, yo, fuck my boy up. And this fool would show up in a fucking helmet and football pads and like in a park, and some dude's just standing there, and here comes fucking Kimbo Slice out of nowhere and just fucking just lays them out, bro, in a football helmet and pads. Have you seen those videos?
No.
Dude, they're the funniest fucking things ever, because they're not expecting, bro. It's like they don't see him.
Yeah.
They see whoever they're talking to. They see the camera guy, and then just out of the side of the frame, you see fucking Kimbo Slice just level him, bro.
No.
It's fucking insane. It's funny as fuck. But then I see his backyard fights. Just these brutal fucking
knuckle on
knuckle fist fights, bro. And then they'd have other fighters on there, and then it wasn't. I didn't know who Masvidal. Like, I knew Masvidal through the UFC, but it wasn't until they started showing his clips on how he started where I was like,
"Yo,
I've seen that fucking video, bro."
Yeah,
like I was like, that dude's a savage.
Same.
I was like, dude, I didn't know that was fucking Masvidal.
Same, man.
Masvidal started
legit
in those fucking
streets,
backyard fights, bro.
In the streets, you gotta give him respect for that, bro. He's a gangster, man.
There's I'm not embedded in that culture of street fighting. I've had less than a handful of fights in my life. I didn't grow up in an area that was like super fucking hood, that where you're just constantly getting in scraps. But to be an individual, because I think Masvidal was talking about, he was just a bouncer at a club, and he would just do backyard fights. It's a different level to find people that are just like, yeah, dude, I do this shit because I love it. And they still have bare knuckle boxing today, bro. It's actually a federation.
Yeah, bare knuckle boxing.
It's actually legit.
Some of the MMA fighters like Mike Perry. Mike Perry went to bare knuckle boxing. And Mike Perry's like a UFC fan, like favorite. A lot of people. He have a lot of fans. A lot of people love Mike Perry just because he's like outlandish.
He said, "Fuck it, take these gloves off."
Yeah.
Absolute animals, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
This
man.
is just a different level of people.
Yeah. Well, they say honestly, you get more brain damage from boxing and UFC because of the fact that you are wearing gloves, right? So your hands are protected, so the fights last a lot longer. So that's what causes a lot of brain trauma. But when you do bare knuckle boxing, you don't have to worry too much about trauma and like brain injuries, because
why is that? Because it almost
the fights are a lot shorter. So like your hands break, your knuckles and stuff. You know what I mean? Your shit break because there's no padding, there's nothing to protect you.
So
you're not getting hit as much.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, whereas you're wearing gloves, whether UFC gloves or boxing gloves.
It's more of a consistent, constant.
Yeah,
like
your brain is
not as
constantly
hard.
fucking just being shaken in your damn skull. So there's a lot. It's a lot safer for some people, but it is still brutal in the sense of like cuts and shit.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? You're still getting fucked up.
Yeah, it's unreal. And then, even the UFC, because like you just mentioned cuts. And one of my favorite fighters, mainly because I'm from California and I'm biased, and my phone number starts with 209.
Who's that?
Diaz, bro. Nate Diaz.
Oh yeah, the
Nate
Diaz brothers.
Bro. Nate Diaz is just a fucking.
Ah.
He is that when people want to know like what's the hood like in Northern California.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, bro. Just a constant fucking Stockton. Just pulls up, bro. And
that fool's gangster, bro.
And then his brother Nick too. His brother Nick is a fucking savage, bro. And they came out from fucking Stockton, California, where you grew up in schools where there was a lot of fucking gang related activity.
Yeah.
And there's always like, all this like it's just constant beef, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I
them
mean?
dudes
So, like,
gangsters
these
fuck,
dudes are
bro.
fucking savages. And then like my boy Darian, shout out Darian. Maybe one day you see this shit. I'll talk about you a lot, bro. He just showed me like these fucking videos of these guys. They're just like they're from the hood ass fucking neighborhood of Stockton.
Yeah.
And they're just these fucking jiu-jitsu black belts who do triathlons for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't remember which brother it was too, but one of them were famous for going in the famous ocean of like where Alcatraz used to be and swimming.
So that's where they do that. The triathlons that they do in California, in the Bay Area, they swim from Alcatraz to the mainland.
And it's supposed to be filled with like sharks and like the tide and shit like that.
There's not really much of a tide.
No.
But
I thought that was like the main reason of like
it's
why
hard. There's currents.
There's
currents. Yeah, there's currents that they could fuck.
Probably
you
not
up.
tides, but currents.
But when it comes to the actual triathlons, I mean, they got boats out there, and they got their whole. Excuse me, they got their whole safety thing.
Yeah.
Where they got lifeguards and they got jet skis and boats to go retrieve.
Fucking burning right now.
What, you sweating or what?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if it's my skin. Like, my skin just produces like a bunch of oil, and then sometimes like it gets in my eyes and it just starts to burn, man. Like, it's burning right now, and then like during like jiu-jitsu, if I'm doing anything rigorous, bro, that shit's rough, dude. Cause like I've been rolling a couple times, and I've had to like just keep wiping my face and like try to roll and be on top of people, and it's just like it's fucked, man. Like, just give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna pause this really quick, and then we're gonna come back. Yeah. All right, we're back. Yeah. Yeah. Which one is it? Is it Nate that still fights in the UFC, or is it Nick? I can't remember.
I think it's Nate. I always fuck him up. I may be wrong.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit confused, but there's a viral video of one of them, the one that's still like really still active in the UFC. Like,
so yeah, Nate, bro. That's what I was saying. Like, you were talking about like, there's a lot more cuts in like bare knuckle boxing and like UFC.
Yeah,
because they still elbow strikes. Nate bleeds like a motherfucker, bro.
Oh yeah, because all the scar tissue that he has from fighting over the
fucking eyebrows, bro. So that fight that he had with Masvidal for the baddest motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little upset that they stopped it, but it was a lot of blood.
Yeah.
There was a lot of blood on there, but that's the thing, in my opinion, I might be wrong because at this point, the refs are there for a reason, and that's for the safety of the fighter. But as a spectator, and knowing how fucking Nate Diaz is, and he's such a fucking gangster, to see a doctor stoppage, it's like, bro, it's hard to have a match that's titled, they sell tickets, and it's titled for a belt called BMF for the baddest motherfucker in the ring.
Yeah.
And for it to be stopped by a doctor for bleeding, have a stoppage and lose by stoppage, I feel like it's almost like if you're gonna be fighting for a belt called baddest motherfucker, don't bring a doctor. But that's as a spectator, obviously that's like without consideration.
I mean, I think it was some validity. I think it does hold some validity. Yeah.
Because a fight like that, it's what you want to see a fight like that, and to say, well, how'd you win, baddest motherfucker belt?
Yeah.
Well, the doctor stopped it.
Well, that could go both ways,
so
right? Because that could be like, I fucked the dude up so bad the doctor had to.
Yeah,
stop
you could.
You
but
know?
that's the thing about like scar tissue.
Yeah.
Is that any little thing could just open up his fucking eyebrow, which it did.
Yeah.
Either I'm wrong and it was actually just the amount of fucking power that Masvidal had, and was just because he was landed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The thing about Nate Diaz, unfortunately, is that he doesn't really unleash everything until like the last round. So if he'll survive. That's the thing. He'll survive brutal fucking fights, bro. He'll survive those fucking fights. The motherfucker has no quit, dude.
Yeah.
He will survive brutal ass fucking hits and combinations. And then it won't be until the last round until like Nate actually is like, all right, fuck you, bitch. I'm here to fucking take your life. It's part of a strategy at some point, but then, you have the factor of having a stoppage.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, you're bleeding all over my floors, bro. You gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love it. It's honestly the only sport that I watch. Like, people watch football, people watch baseball. I'm like, basketball. None of this shit excites me, bro.
Really?
Nah, none of this shit excites me.
You didn't play any sports like that in high school?
I played baseball. I played baseball in high school. Not in high school. I stopped playing baseball in high school because I got introduced to girls. And that kind of took up most of my time. Then I was just like, man, fuck this. I'd rather like chase girls than be in sports.
Okay.
Stupidly, right? And so I stopped playing baseball after my freshman year of high school. And then I did a little wrestling, but nothing enough to contribute. And I don't know, man. Like, growing up, like, in a Virgin Islands, bro, like, everybody's a savage, not in a sense of, like, fighting style and, like, technique, because, like, most motherfuckers back home can't really fight. You know what I mean? Honestly, they don't really get no hands or anything like that, but everybody's, like, growing up back home, everybody's like a gangster at heart. Like, every pussy you run into from the Virgin Islands, bro, I don't care who it is, bro, they got fucking heart. You know what I mean? Like, that don't quit. Even if they can't fight for their life, you know what I mean? It's just that we're just so used to, like, the struggle and, like, the hardship and, like, picking on each other and just being, like, total bullies to one another. It's like, there's everyone you talk to just get hard. There he go, ruining the podcast.
I'm fucking sorry. No, my sister was calling me back.
Yeah, tell your sister call you back.
Well, I mean, she hung up. So.
Yeah, everybody just get hot, right? Even if they can't fight. So it's I've always been like, we always wrestle and like we'd have like street fights where we'd. Where I grew up, right? It's called Where I grew up is called Anna's Retreat. I grew up at Anna's. Shouts out to the 215. And what the street that I used to live on used to call it Todd Street. And then it had another street down the hill that I can't even really think of it. It wasn't a block. The block was on the other side where the man would sell like weed and like, the man sell drugs and like the older heads would be at. It was like a secondary part of the block where like you know what I mean? Like the young up and coming gunners and like the real top dogs would be. They'd be on like, I forgot what a street used to call it. If you remember what a street used to call it. Anyway, so I mean, the whole place is like the hood, but like,
okay,
you know what I mean? We just have it.
You just knew that's where the area where like you don't be fucking around.
Yeah. Like those are what the kids that like they're gonna go into that lifestyle of being, you know what I mean, like dealing with drugs and like dropping bodies and shit like that. So me and my brothers, cause we from Todd Street, we'd go down the block, not the block, but like the second, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'd have like gloves and we'd be like, yo, like. You know what I mean?
Pull up with gloves?
Yeah, we just fucking pull up with gloves, bro. And like all the old heads and like the dudes in high school and shit like that, while we in middle school, it'd be like, all right, well, you and him go. You know what I mean? And then you'd fight for like 2-3 minutes. And then if you just drop the pause in once, like the whole place would just go crazy. You know what I mean? So like that's kind of like how I grew up. It was just like we'd wrestle in the grass over in the yard with just as like friends, and like we'd go out and then we'd go like pawn gloves and like try to fight random people. It's just like it was so dope, man. Like my childhood was so dope, bro. Like I wish I could have it like in a video, bro, and like just show people like how it grew up, because honestly, like growing up like back home in the Virgin Islands is like honestly the best thing you could ever do. So like legit, everybody just kind of have this like don't quit attitude, even if you really don't have any technique, or you never like fight in your life and you don't get no hands. It's just like
that's G as fuck.
It's legit, just like the island like mantra. You know what I mean? It's like just like how similar to like Mexicans is really no flight. It's just only fight. We kind of have that too. We kind of have that too, but it's more like we have a lot of pride with it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
The person that can't fight for shit would be speaking the most shit, and like he'd have the most confidence. And you know what I mean? Like we'd all know, like, bro, you can't fight, but at the same time, like he'd never show it. He'd never show no weakness.
But he wouldn't back down, right? Like if somebody challenged him,
that's
he'd
the
still
point.
Square up.
He'd still square up.
That
bro.
is so much more respectable to me, bro. To know to have that mentality of there's probably no chance that I'm going to win or come out on top.
Yeah.
And this is just regardless of just fighting, right? You know, whether it's fighting a physical fight or, you know, you're fighting for a position at your job or whatever it is in your life, right? You're trying to reach a certain level, to tell yourself, you know what? I might not fucking win because, you know, I'm not going to lie to myself, and obviously the odds may be stacked against me. Yeah. But I'm not going down like a bitch. Yeah. If I'm going down, I'm going down swinging. And and that's the thing about taking risk in general, because you can gauge that at a level of like a physical, you know, physical violence perspective, but where somebody might just be like, I'm not even going to try. Yeah. I'm not even going to try. That is, to me, such a like negative quality to have as a person.
I agree.
Not just in fighting. Yeah. I'm just talking about like when you see a challenge, you see something that is gonna make you work, and you go, that requires effort. I'm not gonna try because you're more scared of failing than you are of. I don't know, man. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, just the fact that you're like, oh, this looks like I'm gonna fail. I'm not even gonna try because I don't want to be embarrassed. That to me is more embarrassing than you actually trying and not succeeding. Yeah,
but you run into any VI man, anybody from the Virgin Islands, they don't have it in them, bro.
I find that so much more respectable because at the same time, like, there's a level of respect, even though, like, you're like, it's like having your 9-year-old nephew and be like, I'll fucking beat your ass. Yeah. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
But it's so funny, right? Because it's like, it falls back into like ignorance is bliss. Because they'd still get an ass whoop, right? And they'd be like, yeah, I get my ass whooped, but next time I get you. Like, I know you. I know what you to do. Like, I get you.
I love that as a quality for a person. I love that as a quality for a person.
But sometimes that shit annoy you. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you didn't get shit. And you just get your ass whooped. You know what I mean? And if you fight again, you get your ass whooped again. Like, sit your ass down.
You might be talking shit to somebody else, or it's like it's something that you're like, you got to be serious about. Yeah. And then you just hear this motherfucker. And both of you just kind of look at him, and you're just like, man, why the fuck are you even here? Yeah. But it just adds to the flavor of life, I guess.
I love it, man.
But I'll take that over any day of, over anybody that just has such a limiting mentality. Yeah, they might be a good person. They might be genuinely nice, and they might care about other people. But if you yourself limit your mentality for, you know, what you're capable of accomplishing, I can understand. I have empathy for it, but.
Boy, if you don't put a motherfucker on mute, I swear to God, like, man, treat this like the motherfucking Joe Rogan experience, bro. Your phone wouldn't be going on if you was on the
I'm
Joe
a little
Rogan
drunk.
show,
Hold on.
right?
Let me just
Put a motherfucker on mute.
hold on. Oh, you know what?
What's
I
that?
mean, I'm getting messages from like my work group chat,
Man,
which is supposed to be like just in case shit goes down, but they're just sharing bullshit.
Put
So I'm
that
just
shit
gonna
on
mute this
mute,
shit real quick. Hold the fuck up.
This guy,
Excuse me,
bro.
guys. I'm sorry for not taking this seriously.
Treat this
for
like the
audience.
motherfucking Joe Rogan
My bad.
experience.
I'm not used
Like,
to having. I'm not used to
millions-
having people hit me up all the time, bro. I'm
Like,
not popular, bro.
Millions of people watching this show,
I'm not popular. People don't.
even
people
if there's
don't talk
just
to me.
5.
People don't talk to me, except for my mother. All right, it's on silent. My bad. Don't touch that dial, folks. I'm gonna take a piss real quick.
All right,
I'll
we'll be right back.
We got it, dude. I'm gonna have to get you one of those, like those directors.
The snap.
I'm gonna have to get you one of those, bro.
That's too
Just
funny.
For the fuck of it. That'd be dope.
That's hella too funny, bro. Dude, the chick from the bar though,
The
like
40-year-old?
No,
The other one,
yeah,
the short one.
yeah, nothing wrong with 40-year-olds.
Oh
She-
no,
she-
absolutely,
yeah,
bro.
she-
I did not think.
Yeah, she did mention that she just got her breasts done though. Yeah, they look nice. They look
Very
nice.
nice.
I mean, at 40, you think it's still getting wet though?
I don't know, man. I haven't
actually
been
thought
with a
about
40-year-old.
You haven't been with a woman that's 40?
I'm sorry. Was that like a mandatory thing for?
No, I'm curious. Like, you haven't been with a woman.
Not
What's the
that-
oldest woman you've been with?
The oldest woman I've been with was 4 years older than me. That was it.
That's weak, bro.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, no, she had 2 kids. Yeah, she was 27 when I was 23.
Were you playing stepdaddy?
No.
No.
So I never met her kids, and that was the thing. And I think I mentioned it to you before.
Yeah, I
when
think
we
so.
were first talking, I told her I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful at all.
Yeah.
This has, like, I'm not. This is no in no way, am I saying this in a negative manner.
Yeah.
But I don't expect, and I don't want to meet your sons.
Yeah.
Like right away. And she was like, yeah, I didn't plan on introducing you to her.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, bet, me and her on the same level.
Yeah.
And I say that because being raised by a single mom, she didn't really do that either. She would date guys, obviously, but she wouldn't like bring them around on the first fucking date.
Yeah. That's a little bit wild.
Because that affects the kids, man.
Yeah.
That affects the upbringing of your children.
Yeah, agreed.
So the first time I took out, I invited a mom out to dinner. She brought her daughter, and I didn't say anything. I was, like I didn't treat her any differently. I didn't treat her daughter any differently.
Yeah.
But when after that night, and I was just kind of sitting there and thinking about it, like, for one, she didn't tell me. I knew she had a daughter, but she didn't tell me that she was gonna bring her.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
It's because it's a big thing, man. It's a big thing when it's a big thing when your kids are involved.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, somebody else's kids.
And that is somebody else's kid.
Yeah.
I don't think she mentioned anything about the father.
Yeah. Could you marry a woman that has like a kid already?
I think about that all the time.
Be honest.
And it's hard for me to say yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's not anything against being a single mom.
Yeah. What is it then?
I don't know yet. I ask myself this all the time. I have this monologue with myself.
I just don't want to raise nobody else's kids. It's just that simple for me. It's like I don't want to deal with it. Like you got baby daddy.
Maybe my perception will shift once I'm in a more financially stable position. Maybe that could very well be for me personally.
That don't got nothing to do with finances though. It's just like I don't want to have to deal with another dude. It's just that simple for me. It's like we as males, we already have like this alpha mentality, and it's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like,
but I have heard like in the last base I was stationed at, right, there was a individual who I worked with who has a son, and he was open enough to tell me about how he's a co-parent and he actually gets along with the stepfather. You know,
It's a little bit weird for me.
They get a lot right. So for us,
yeah, go ahead though.
At first it sounds weird, but looking at the bigger picture, I'm happy to hear things like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's not my situation, I don't have a personal insight on being a single father or being a co-parent.
Yeah.
But for me to hear that your relationship with your ex-spouse and your ex-spouse's new partner is a healthy environment for your kid, that is what I'm like, dude, that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's mature. I like it.
That is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Because your kid doesn't have to suffer through the fucking pettiness that you have towards your partner or your partner's new significant other.
That's a huge thing.
That is another quality that I find respectable in adults, to where being Mexican and having more of that Catholic culture influence, you know, the whole family aspect, to where they, you know, the two parents would absolutely refuse getting a divorce for the sake of the kids. They say that it's for the sake of the kids, and sometimes it's not even that. They say it's because, oh, we don't want people, it's a sin. You know, they say divorce is, it gets real religious. That to me is so much worse than actually having a healthy relationship with your significant other, not being in a relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
To where you can be separate and still say that this is bigger than me and you not getting along, or this is bigger than me and you not working out as a couple.
Yeah.
We're not important or as important than the life of the individual that me and you made together.
I think I 100% agree. I think I'm okay with being okay with, like, you know, another guy coming along, as long as I'm the dominant one. You know what I mean? Like,
in terms of what, like, how would you as a father establish dominance in that relationship?
Boundaries, man. Don't put your hand on my kid. Don't try to discipline them. Leave that to me.
What if your spouse tells them how to discipline them in terms of boundaries, right? Because it is one thing to actually lay hands on your kid, but I agree with you, because I put myself in that position as well, where I'm the stepfather, or I'm the man coming in, where I'm dealing with somebody else's family. I understand that I cannot just come in and start being the head of the household to a child and a mother that are technically not mine. Technically, and I say that because you didn't make that kid with your partner. Even though you are in the relationship with that person, with that woman, that is not your kid. But I'm saying that in a responsible and like in a respectful way, in terms of, you can't just come in here and start fucking running the fucking show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that is not your kid. You show them respect, you show them love and kindness, and you provide for them the best that you can. But in terms of discipline, I would agree. I would not want to just come in and step in. I may at most share my concerns with my partner, in terms of, like, it may bother me that, you know, your son or your daughter acts this way, but I'm going to respect how you and the you know, your ex, or you're the father of this child. I'm not going to step into that.
Yeah.
But I may at most say that, you know, this makes me uncomfortable, or maybe this. And if we can have an adult conversation about maybe how to fix an issue, and that, like, maybe it is the same issue that the actual father has, or whoever. And if anything, I would just talk to him. Like, look,
there it is.
I don't want to step in.
Just communication.
I don't want to step on your toes. This is absolutely your child, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to disrespect that.
Yeah.
But I want to know if this is just something that maybe you can teach me how to work around, or if you think this is something that should be addressed just in a simple being a human aspect. Right?
Yeah. I think that's the right way to do it. I think it's communication, right? I think it's reach out. Hopefully that parent, right, the dad is mature enough to have that conversation in regards to the kid. You know what I mean? Because that's a huge piece, right? If they're not mature enough and they just think that you're bringing up like nonsense to them, then if it's gonna make your life a lot worse, and that's part of the reason why like I can't do dating someone that already has a kid, because like if the dad is involved, number one, I find myself to be a very mature person. Like I could have an intellectual conversation with somebody and I could give my opinion or my perspective, and I could take in somebody else's opinion and perspective. Not only just take it in, but I could analyze it and see like, okay, I agree with this and I disagree with this, and like, hey, like how do we work this out? Whereas most people aren't as mature as us and can't have you know what I mean? So it just be really hard for me to deal with someone that isn't capable of having a mature conversation, you know, to that extent. That's huge, man. And it's just like why I don't want to make my life harder. Like I'd rather just not deal with it, you know. For me, because I am in that current position right now where like I'm divorced, and you know, like I try to be in my daughter's life as much as I can, but like if her mom decides to go and like get a boyfriend or whatever the case may be, like bro, you gonna have problems. You know, you gonna have problems, bro. Like I'm just letting you know right now, like you gonna have problems. Like if you're not mature enough to have a conversation in regards to like what my daughter is going through and stuff like that, or like how I should deal with my daughter and stuff like that, it's gonna be a problem. But if you are mature enough to like communicate with me and let me know like I'm totally kosher, you know what I mean? I'd be like, okay, well, like what we can work on, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like she is a child, like understand that she's a kid. Kids gonna make mistakes, you know what I mean? They're not always gonna listen to everything you have to say. Yeah. You know, and if you just can't deal with that and you find yourself like wanting to put your hands on that, bro, just don't. Cause you can get fucked up.
Yeah, it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, you can get fucked up, bro.
I mean, and then hopefully, and then the other aspect of that too is just hoping that, you know, the person that you were once with, who you've been intimate with, who you've created life with, hopefully, you know, they have also the mental clarity and the maturity to understand when they should bring in a partner. Yeah. And what type of individual that's going to be. Because if you're at that point, if you're picking your partner and you're not considering the effect that it's going to have on your kid, that's a big flag. Yeah. Because at that point, yes, I understand it sucks to be lonely. Yeah, it sucks to go to bed by yourself every fucking night. It's, you know, it's its own thing. But when you have a kid, picking who you have in your bed is much more important.
Yeah, it's paramount, man. It is paramount, and
it's hard. I'm only saying that from a perspective, not as a single father. I'm seeing it as a perspective of a son of a single mother. I'm seeing it as a perspective of somebody who knows women who have kids and has dated single moms.
Yeah, that's always interesting too, right? Because like you're a boy, or now a man, right? Growing up with a single mom, whereas like I have a little girl, bro. That opens up a whole nother fucking kind of worms that you have to deal with. And it's like you gotta worry about not only just like, dude, you gotta worry about predators, dude. And like you always see all the time of like, you watch these interviews with predators. It's like, well, predators really necessarily they stalk like single moms. And it's like, why do you stalk single moms? It's like, they're the easiest target. They're lonely. they're vulnerable. They want someone to come in and like be there for them. Yeah, take care of them and stuff like that. And then you watch the ones who's like, well, what do you look for like a red flags in like single moms? Well, you don't really want try to get in with a single mom where the dad is like a danger. You know what I mean? Like a
And by
dad
danger,
is around.
they mean involved.
Involved, exactly. You know, and it's just like I got a little girl, but like I honestly I feel like I don't want to. I'm to the point where like I don't want to put my daughter in at any risk at all. So like if there's a daycare and the main head of the daycare is a male, it's like she's not going. Nothing against the dude that runs the daycare. It's just like
You're not gonna run that risk, bro.
I'm not gonna put
You're
my
not
daughter
gonna
in
run
that
that,
risk,
especially when it's your kid.
Exactly. That's my thing. It's like, okay, well, your mom is like dating dudes and like she's bringing dudes around. It's like me, my antennas are already up. Like I don't have to meet him. I already don't like him just because he's a male. You know what I mean?
And
it's kind of fucked.
We know how guys are.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about that is that a lot of people don't understand is, unfortunately, because I'm thinking of people that I've met. Unfortunately, I am friends with individuals who are a little on the fucking edge, and like in terms of how they are when they're drunk. That's a big thing for me. Men and women.
Oof, you gotta explain that, man. On the edge, like
men
what?
And women.
Yeah.
They say shit where you're like, I mean, it's not illegal, but I'm like, bro,
what are you talking about?
Like,
yeah,
you're fucking. It's weird, and and when you talk about predators with kids, it's it's the most despicable thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've realized, or that I've come to know based on like data and actual personal experience in terms of like hearing things that happen within the family.
Yeah.
Is a lot of people are always like, they hear about sexual predators and pedophiles and watch out for your kids and this and that, and you know, you're out in public and you're like, this stranger could possibly do harm to my kid.
Bro, you get your hands on your nutsack, you pulling it up.
No, I'm grabbing my shorts.
I know, bro.
There's nothing here.
It's still on the camera. It's probably just mad.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. Anyways,
yeah.
The worst part is that the majority of the time of individuals that go through any type of sexual abuse or assault, it comes from close family members.
Yes.
And that is so much scarier for me in terms of having a kid in general.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to be like, I tell people all the time, like, man, the way the world is going, I almost don't want to have a kid. But
that's fine.
In terms of, and I had a supervisor who told me, it was like, if you don't have a kid, they win. Because if you have that right mindset of how a person should act and how a person should treat others, we need more people like you
having kids, because that way you can instill that in them. So
essentially that's the, you know, that's what we want to pass down. So if you don't have any kids, then you know those awful people win. Yeah. But it also gets me thinking, like, man, statistically speaking, and then hearing from one and like personal experiences, and knowing that my own family is more of a threat to my kids
than outsiders,
a fucking stranger in the neighborhood that I just moved into. Yeah, that is crazy to me.
It is. Because
I'm thinking of like all my family members, my cousins, my uncles, people that I respect and I admire and I love. Yeah, and I go, man, because that's the thing about a situation like that is you don't expect it.
You don't, man.
You don't expect it.
It's what like cousins and like uncles and stuff like that. Like they're cool, but like, bro, my daughter ain't sitting on your lap. You know, don't grab my daughter and put her on your lap to like play anything. I'm gonna just cut it off right then and there. Like I've always like Kita, he was like a close friend of mine and stuff like that. Like if Kita's like changing else, I'd be like, yo, give my daughter privacy, bro. Like go in the next room. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't fuck around.
It's
bro.
Wild to me when I go to a house or when I go somewhere and there's a kid just running around butt ass naked.
Oh yeah, that's wild.
And like me personally, right?
Yeah.
I'm obviously not viewing that kid as a fucking sexual object like some fucking creep would.
Yeah.
But the first thing in my head is somebody else might.
Yeah.
Like I me personally, it's just a kid.
Yeah.
They're innocent. Obviously, they haven't hit puberty and they're not like sexually developed to where it would be an idea to even fucking maintain. But
yeah, I know what you're saying.
But knowing that there are people out there
that are
who
thinking
see
like
that
that,
and we're like, they don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Bro, it's
such a like.
I want to say something, but at the end, like I usually just end up leaving, and it usually happens to be at like public pools or.
What you mean you want to say so? I don't get it.
When a parent.
Oh,
I
see.
Or when two parents they have their kids and their kids just running around butt ass naked.
Yeah.
And like, me as an individual, I'm just gonna be like, bro, you don't know who's in here, really.
Yeah.
You really don't like. Oh yeah, I know. I know who everybody is in there. But do you really fucking know?
I think you could get
room?
Facts. I think you could get away a little bit more like boys, because like if I had a little boy, like honestly, that
not even them, bro.
Not even them, right?
Not even them,
yeah,
bro.
I
It's
feel you,
fucking
man.
unreal.
Yeah.
The amount of abuse, sexual abuse that happens to kids, especially boys. Especially boys, because of, and I'm not to fucking shame or not to like call you out on your mentality, but because of that mentality,
right?
Because like, oh, it's a boy.
Yeah. No,
Bro,
you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
It's unreal how fucking.
You're 100%
I didn't
right,
experience my first, like sexual assault like that, until I was maybe 6 or 7, and the sexual assault was just fucking teenagers like dry humping me and my sister, bro. And it's fucking weird. And I know a lot of people. It's like it's an uncomfortable topic.
Yeah.
But, bro, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And it needs to be addressed. And the shameful part about being Mexican.
Yeah.
Is realizing that it's either because you're Mexican or you're Catholic, but like anything that is considered shameful to the family, they sweep it under the fucking rug, and it irritates me so goddamn much, bro. Because nobody wants it. Because if something like that happens, they'll be like, oh, they'll fucking make excuses.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be, because everybody talks. And that's the fucking thing about Mexican culture, bro, is the chisme.
I don't think it's Mexican culture. I think that's all cultures
in general,
too, man.
maybe but from my personal perspective, it's that, bro. Is that everybody fucking talks about everybody, and you go to church, and then they're like, oh, that's so and so, so and so's family, bro. They fucking know everybody about everybody. It's fucking ridiculous, and it irritates. And that's one of the main reasons why I stopped, being involved in that type of culture, unfortunately. But yeah, man, it's just they make excuses. It's despicable, and it all of it is in the name of not bringing shame to the family and just we don't talk about that. Why? Because it's embarrassing. Fuck you, bro. It's a issue.
Yeah,
it's an issue, bro. Kids are involved. Children, innocent children are involved, and you refuse to talk about it because what are people gonna say about us in church? Fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You're more worried about your reputation than the mental health and the physical health
of the kid,
of your child, or a child in your family. Any child. Even if they're not any fucking child.
Yeah, that's why I love speaking, like having these conversations too, man, because it kind of shows me like how far our generation has come in the sense of like
we ain't with the bullshit, bro.
Yeah. Point blank.
We're not.
Period.
We're not with the fucking.
We're not with the bullshit, bro. Like we don't care. Like if it brings shame, like we gonna get it off our chest.
Yeah, dude. I'm remembering the first time I was told about, like I realized how fucked up, unfortunately, how fucked up the Mexican culture can be. And we had
I don't really want you focusing too much on just like the Mexican culture, because like
again, that's
all cultures.
In perspective, because it can happen. Absolutely.
Like I get like you're talking from your perspective.
Absolutely. So in any family dynamic, right? In any family dynamic, we had a cousin who was a little bit older than us. We were at a fucking family party, and he pantsed my sister, right? Yeah. So like, I remember growing up and like. Being pantsed was like, it was a prank. It was a funny thing. Yeah. Right? But you do it to like your male cousin.
Yeah.
Like other dudes.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's more okay, but that was our mentality at the time.
Yeah, it was just a norm.
And my sister's obviously younger than me, and she's still wearing diapers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he pantsed her. So would I say he pantsed her to try to fucking look at her in a sexual manner? I don't know. But to me, that's still not okay. And the thing that made it worse was that when my mom brought attention to that, to the parents of my cousins or whoever,
they played it off.
Their whole thing was like, he's just a boy.
It's just kids.
He's just a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know, bro. And then on top of that, it could get deeper. Not to justify his actions, but
yeah, it
did something like that happen to him? Was there somebody in our family that has sexually assaulted or molested him for him to think that it's okay to do this to other family members?
Yeah.
So it can get deeper. Obviously, it's an inexcusable action.
Yeah.
But it goes that deep. And then it didn't hit me again. So that was the first time where I didn't see it happen. My mom told me about it after it happened, probably years after it happened. But it wasn't until I went to Mexico and I met family members, obviously, that I've never met before. And I was staying with my grandpa at the time. And it was in the fucking cuts, bro. Like up a hill. It was like these back roads. We have to go up a cliffside damn near to get to this fucking ranch where our family members were. We ate, we talked. It was a good fucking time. And it wasn't until the end where the uncle that we went to go visit was like, stay the night. And it didn't click. For me, it didn't click until after I got back and I talked to my mom about it. Where she kind of like gave me insight of like what the fuck was going on. So he was like, stay. And it's one thing like to be hospitable, right? Like you have company, you enjoy company, especially you live in a ranch out in the fucking cuts. You don't really have many visitors. Fucking stay. We have family here. But he grabbed me by my arm, my forearm, and he had such a fucking grip, bro. Such a grip. I'll never fucking forget it. Where I was like trying to pull, and he wasn't fucking budging. And the entire time he was like staring at my grandpa. And I don't know if they were cousins or if he's a nephew. I can't remember what the exact relation was. But my grandpa was like, no, we got to go. And he was like, no, stay the night. And he would not let go of my fucking arm. He wasn't like crushing my forearm, but I couldn't get out. And my grandpa was like, nope, we gotta go. And my uncle, whoever it was so fucking insistent. Stay for like 30 minutes, bro. 30 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's 30 minutes of stay, and then your own grandfather going, no.
That's a long time.
That's a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's very persistent.
So finally, I don't remember if he just let go, if I actually fucking got out. But it wasn't until I got back to the States and I told my mom about that interaction. And she goes, that's the fucking uncle that damaged our family. And I apologize. I know it's a sensitive topic. I apologize if...
No, you don't have to apologize, man. You're telling your story.
I'm apologizing to my family because, like I said, you don't talk about it, right? It's shameful. But here's the fucking thing, dude. At this point, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
I had mentioned to you that like schizophrenia is like a thing that runs in my family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my mom had 3 brothers, and when they went to go visit that uncle, it was the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Stay the night.
Wow.
And those times my grandpa used to say yes, because he didn't know, or he would turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
And when I told my mom about him doing the same thing, and my grandpa was like, no.
Yeah.
My mom was like, he fucking knows.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. He knows who he's dealing with.
Fuck, man.
But they still don't call him out.
Yeah.
Because they're family. That's what they say.
Well,
they're family. You can't.
I'll let you know right now, bro. Don't be any family of mine. cause I'm trying to wipe you the fuck out. Like, legit, bro.
You don't do that to kids, bro.
Bro, like, you come around my daughter playing, bro.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for you. Because I'm going to sit down 30, 40 years. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to kill you. I want you to die slow. Like, I ain't using no gun. I just want to use, like, a big fucking kitchen knife. And I just want to gut you like a pig.
That still might be fast.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not fucking around when it comes to my daughter, bro.
Long story short, dude, it's
I'm not playing it.
People need to take having kids a lot more seriously. It's deeper than the relationship that you have with your baby daddy or your baby mama.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that. It goes so much more than that.
Which is sad, man, because, like, you shouldn't have to, like, that shouldn't even be something you should be thinking about. And that's why, like, I'm grateful here.
It fucking should.
Yeah, that's why, like, I'm grateful, like my daughter's being raised in Japan, bro. Like, she could be, like, 1 to 2, 3 years old, and she could, like, I could confidently say, like, she could walk to school if she had to. She'd cross the street raising her hands. She wouldn't get hit by a car, and, like, she'd go to school, you know what I mean? And, like, that'd just be it. You know, like, I don't have to worry about, like, her being kidnapped or, like, anybody fucking around. Because, like, so, like, we kind of talked about, like, suicide and, like, how that could be, like, a cultural thing, too. Like, I just feel like that's just not a cultural thing out here. Even though, like, it's kind of weird, right? Because, like, Japanese people are known to be, like big perverts, bro. Remember we was watching a video, like, the dude at, like, the club, like, trying to look up this chick's skirt, and, like, he's being, bro, like, so, like,
somebody was telling me that, like, when you take a picture, it makes that, like,
yep,
you can't get rid of that.
In Japan, you can't
do that. And it's
because
if you buy a Japanese manufactured phone, you can't do that. And I was like, well, that's fucking annoying. And then they explained to me why, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's because, like, the dudes are known for, like, taking the camera and, like, shoving it up girls' skirts and, like, taking pictures, bro. That's why they have, like, the camera shutter on it. You can't get rid of it in Japan. Fun fact. It's, like, even though they're known for, like, being, like, the biggest creeps and, like, mad weirdos and shit like that, like, you still don't gotta worry about, like, kid being kidnapped or your kid being, like...
Yeah, I guess. Good job, guys. Be fucking weirdos, but be weirdos with fucking adults.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Fucking crazy.
Like, as long as they're adult, like, be okay. I'm okay with that. As fucked up as it sounds, like, if you're a weirdo, like, at least that person is old enough to defend themselves and let you know, like, hey,
we do not condone any type of fucking unsolicited taking pictures of women's private parts.
I'm glad you mentioned them.
But
I'm okay.
Yeah, I guess as bad as it sounds, I guess the silver lining is, well, at least they don't fuck around with kids. That sounds so fucking bad. That's so terrible.
Which is the truth, though.
But that's the silver lining.
That's the truth. They don't fuck around with kids.
You can trust that your kid can walk to and from school without having to deal with the creeps, because the creeps are worried about your baby's mom, not your baby.
Yeah.
It's so fucking terrible.
That is funny, bro.
So bad.
Yeah. Honestly, but one of the safest places to raise a child is Japan, bro. Honestly, and then another thing too, you don't gotta worry about, like, the whole, like, gender studies, like, shit that they're going through right now in the States. Like, you don't gotta worry about none of that stuff over here. It's like you got, like,
fucking heated, bro.
You know what I mean? Kids trying to, or adults, young adults that fresh out of college trying to groom your kids into whatever, man.
For me, look, your sexual orientation, your sexual preference, that to me, I don't go around flaunting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going around saying fucking badges rule, fucking only women. Like, your sexual preference, I feel, it gets. There's so many directions that this conversation could go to, because I have a lot of different perspectives.
I think we got heavy. We got heavy on this podcast.
But yeah, man, it's just people talk about, like, oh, well, guys are always like, or people always tell, like, boys in elementary school, like, oh, if she's mean to you, she likes you, or, like, they're still like, oh, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, I agree with the fact that that's not okay still. Like, you're in the 3rd grade,
Wait, what you mean? Which part isn't okay?
Because then they're always like, well, what if he wants a boyfriend? What if she wants a girlfriend? And I'm like, they don't understand the sexual aspect of that, the sexual tension. Once they hit puberty, in my opinion, I'm not a fucking gender studies person. I'm just saying from my moral standpoint, is once they start hitting that fucking puberty stage where they start becoming like sexually active and they're getting all these fucking hormones, and it's just a whole mess being a teenager and growing up, right? It's already a clusterfuck as it is. But to hit the elementaries and the middle schoolers and talk about dating other boys and dating other girls, and in general,
it crosses the line.
In general, and it has nothing to do against like being gay or being lesbian. That's cool, but discover that for yourself, because when you have a sexual topic, in terms of you become intimate with another person, and at any level, straight, gay, whatever, in my personal opinion, that's a very powerful thing. It has an effect on people. It can really change the perspective of somebody in terms of their whole life. So to sexualize relationships at a young age in elementary and middle school, just don't fucking do it. Just don't fucking do it.
Yeah, I
understand. Oh, I like so-and-so. I like so-and-so. Cool. That's fine. You like hanging out with your guy friend. You like hanging out with your female friend. But when you, as an individual, start going through puberty and you start having your own like sexual preferences, and then all of a sudden you're going to school and you're like, I like this person and I don't know why. Let them figure that out for themselves. Because it can be a very confusing thing, especially in today's world where both the mom and the dad are working a job, sometimes maybe even two jobs, and essentially they're being raised by the local system, the school, the after school program, whatever it's going to be. You're having other individuals raise your kids, and it's not bad to have different perspectives and different insights from multiple sources. But when you're raising your kid, you are raising your kid. So if there's something in this world that you feel is bad and you want to raise somebody that's going to counteract that, whether your motives are morally correct or not, that's up to you as a parent. And to have an outside system implement something that could potentially damage their future, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And then there's another good fact where they talk about like this whole toxic masculinity thing. I try to avoid topics like this because it's such a controversial thing.
But see, that's why you have to address those conversations, because me speaking to you or just me knowing you, I feel like you have a very fair perspective, and I think you think and you're logical in your perception of, your perspective. So I think there needs to be more of that versus more outlandish.
I try to be. I love being able to have conversations and discussions where people can actually present a new perspective, and I can think about it, because there's been plenty of times where somebody will present just a different outlook, and it'll get me thinking.
And that's my point, right? So like the people that need to speak up the most, that have a very balanced grasp and things, don't technically do it because they'd rather avoid it, whereas that's the voice that we need to be hearing the most.
Oh, well, you know what? I appreciate that a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and say that like, yeah, my fucking opinion is this shit, right? But you know what? I can agree. I can agree to that statement, because those are the individuals that I like talking to.
Yeah.
When they can say something that's gonna actually, when I go home and I'm gonna think about what they said,
Yeah.
it could actually change my perspective on things,
Yeah.
or it could bring me new insight.
He's always fiddling with something, whether if
fidgeting.
it's like his feet is up here. He's always.
But yeah,
Toxic masculinity.
yeah, man. My father wasn't really prevalent in my life, right? Single mom, and then I think about the school system, and the majority of teachers and administrators are female. And so somebody had, like, you see, and then you see it all over social media as well, where they're like, yeah, like 80% of the teachers are female. A lot of the families growing up, they're single parent homes that tend to be from like the single mother that primarily raise the kids. And then you have tutors who are primarily female. You have babysitters who are primarily female. And so when people talk about like, yeah, it's this toxic masculinity thing, who the fuck are we learning it from, bro? Because I'm thinking back, I'm having a hard time. Like right now, I'm thinking back and I'm having a hard time finding a positive masculine figure that I can say I learned a lot from that individual, and I'm replicating the healthy masculinity of this individual.
That's a great point.
I have a hard time trying to find a single individual that's masculine.
Let's dissect this a little bit though.
Masculine.
What is toxic masculinity?
Bro,
because I have no idea what it is.
It's up to everybody's interpretation.
It's subjective.
And essentially it comes down to what's toxic masculinity. Whatever the fuck offends you. Whatever the fuck offends you. It's what it is nowadays.
Then at that point,
and that's the thing, man.
It's kind of like
I learned
whatever.
I learned so many powerful things from my mother, who is definitely the primary influence of who I am today, as an individual. But I've also learned a lot of things from other males. And not even significantly like older males. Like I don't have an uncle that I can be like, yeah, he was like my father figure. I don't have anybody like that. A lot of the things are just life experiences. And there's been a lot of like points in my life where there's like, they call that fork in the road, where you can choose to be just a individual who eventually says, fuck the world, fuck you, fuck your feelings, like I'm gonna do everything for me and fuck bitches and fuck whatever, or just be like, there's nothing wrong with being a good person in a world where everybody's a piece of shit, in terms of like nobody really has a sense of. It's harder for me to say because I don't really think about this. I don't think about this type of stuff a lot. But
yo, this elbow tat. This is my first time seeing it. What is
bullshit?
This? I'm dead serious.
You've never seen this?
I've never seen the elbow tat.
I got this on my birthday, actually. This is Quetzalcoatl, who's Aztec deity, Mayan deity. The feathered serpent.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
The tattoo just threw me way off.
I have 2 tattoos. It's my favorite one so far.
It's a cool tattoo.
I like the placement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this on my birthday. It was
What the fuck? Somebody coming down the steps?
They fucking fell.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. I want to have this whole left side like Aztec Mayan themed.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
I can't wait, man. It'd be cool.
Appreciate
Hopefully before you leave here. Yeah.
Man, if I'm out here, I'm probably gonna get some Japanese stuff, but maybe a leg.
I mean, you don't have to like Japanese stuff. Just get what you want, which is like the back pieces you want is like half.
Well, first I need the money. Once I have the money,
yeah, because that back piece is like 3 G's at least.
But yeah, long story short, toxic masculinity
is subjective.
A toxic masculinity, in my opinion, are males who are unable to be in full control of their personal desires and personal ambitions. Like you need to be able to control your emotions. and there's a lot of guys that are like, you know, you tell them one thing and they get fucking fired up right away. Yeah, he could physically fuck you up, right? In a physical aspect, he might, you know, he might train, he might be able to fuck you up and really do damage. But for somebody that cannot control his anger like that, that's a weakness. Absolutely. Yeah. You can be physically strong and you can use that to compensate for your, you know, your shortcomings in other aspects. But yeah, somebody who's like super, you know, fast to react in an aggressive manner. Yeah. That's definitely a lack of control. Yeah. And it's a weakness.
I agree. I think that is toxic too, but quite honestly, I don't know. Toxic masculinity, if it's subjective for me, it's just, I don't know. I don't necessarily see it too much, you know. I think a lot of people will probably classify toxic masculinity as like that Tate dude. You know, like he's like viral as fuck. Tate? Yeah, he's like viral as fuck and like. Yeah. But like when I listen to like what he has to say, it's not like he's saying anything too crazy. I mean, I think it just probably rubs most people the wrong way because he's so adamant in what he's saying and he's very
convictive. Yeah. And, like he's very assertive, I guess.
Yeah, but like it's not anything crazy you say. Like if you could just listen and you just understand like, hey, that's his perspective. You don't have to completely agree with it, but I don't think most of the stuff that he says is outlandish. However, I've only listened to like probably 1 or 2 clips of it, so I wouldn't be the best judge of it either.
It's I mean it's hard to say.
But I know he's like viral as fuck right now.
Yeah.
He's like very
you know, we don't know him like on a personal level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But toxic masculinity is, I don't even know where the fuck that term came from, bro. Because you know what I mean, like. It's like, bro, you want men to be masculine. If they're not masculine, like, what the fuck are they?
But then the problem becomes, I guess the question becomes is, well, what's masculine?
I mean, shit, like, as men, bro, we fucking do everything. You know what I mean? Like, we support financially. We provide a roof over their heads. We, like, protect. You know, we nurture. It's like... That's a lot that has to deal with masculinity. It's like, I'm not saying like women don't do a lot. Women do a great deal, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like most of the time like men are looked to be the pillar in the family environment, or just you know, the crutch for everyone to lean on, whether it's kids and that's what masculine is. You know, and then there's some women that hold both, like your mom that held up both being the father figure and woman figure. You know, it's like, I don't know. I think we need to get away from. We just need to get away from all these like words that try to divide, like makes us divisive. It's like, oh, toxic masculinity, or you being too masculine or too confident. It comes off as.
I agree. Social media has definitely sometimes swayed my perspective in certain directions, and I'll try to catch myself when I'm like, man, is this really how life is, or am I viewing it because of what I'm watching on social media?
In regards to what though?
Like just for example, this whole thing with like Andrew Tate and like. Women just see guys as the wallet and they don't give a fuck, and it's like all these they try to highlight like how awful women are, something in a way.
Is that what Tate does?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. But here's the thing. So like they mainly talk about how like the male has to provide, and he's always like, if you're with me, you don't pay for shit. Your life is easy. I am the provider. I am the alpha. You listen to me because I provide the lifestyle that you want, and I take care of you, and I protect you, and I feed you, and like there is a level of respect to that I can agree with, right?
Yeah.
If somebody, and like I'm saying this as a fucking male, right? If somebody were to take me into their fucking household and they feed me and they clothe me and they show me respect and they treat me like valued individual,
Yeah.
it's hard to be like, fuck you, I'm your own person. But we have people in this world that they get that. They receive, they get spoiled, they get taken care of. They don't have to worry about rent. They don't have to worry about a car payment. They don't have to worry about insurance or where their next meal is going to come from.
Yeah.
They get gifts. Like, there's people out here, men and women, because there's dudes that find, like, fucking sugar mamas and they get taken care of.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing.
Where the fuck you at, sugar mama? Stop fucking around. If you want to be my sugar mama, you come over here, you get good dick, that's for sure.
He's speaking for himself. I'm not gonna.
He got serious. He looked at me and was like, shame on you.
Talk to him. Don't talk to me.
Shame on you.
Not that I have anything against other women, right?
Shit, give you good dick and good conversation, bitch.
I lost what the fuck I was talking about. Long story short, we have this new generation of people that are, I would say, ungrateful. And there are times where even myself, where like I take things for granted, and I'm like, bro, this is fucking awesome. You should be grateful for this.
Yeah.
But this is the world we live in, and they usually try to focus on like, oh yeah, all women are ungrateful, and they interview chicks on the street, and they're like, what's a guy? And they're like, oh, he's just there to pay for us, and like they use these very specific women to paint how women are in today's society.
Yeah.
Long story short,
women
like for the longest time, women are always like, all dudes are the same, right?
Yeah.
And now we have this shift where we have dudes like Andrew Tate and all these other guys, and they're like, all women are the same. In my perspective, bro, like all those women that they talk about that are like gold diggers and like all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Those women don't exist in my world.
Same.
They don't exist in my world. I don't run into those women.
Same.
Is it because I'm broke? Maybe, but when you can spot that,
that's how the point.
Hey, you ain't got no more money, more problems, right? So just fucking.
I don't know. Money could solve all my problems right now, so I don't know about that. But
I don't know. But that's what I mean. Like I see all these videos with like Andrew Tate and all these other guys, and they talk about how like chicks are like, you got to be making at least $100,000 a year, and you got to pay for my nails, and you got to pay for my mom's bills, and I'm like at first, like, yeah, I'm like, yo, that's fucking wild. This bitch is on crack.
More than crack, bro.
Right? But then I'm thinking, and I'm like, man, are women like this? And I'm thinking, and I'm like, I'm sitting, and I'm like,
no.
Have I met a woman like this?
No.
I haven't met a woman.
No,
like
I've
this.
never met a woman
so
like that.
So for me to
either.
be like, all bitches are gold diggers, they just want to fucking take care of them. I can't say that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's just this. It'd be no different than like when a chick is like, all dudes are the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Absolutely. Because
there's good women out there.
Yeah.
Right. Like I understand you gotta watch out for these chicks.
Yeah.
You know, all these guys with their podcasts, they talk about like these chicks that are like, that's their whole thing, right?
I think those people live.
There's good women out there, bro.
Yeah.
There's good women out there. Just don't give into the whole thing that you got to be the biggest baller in the fucking club in order to find a chick. Because guess what? Those chicks don't exist in the club. Those chicks that you see in the video, those bitches exist in the club.
Yeah.
The chicks that you want, the chicks that are good, the ones that know that were raised right.
Yeah.
They know how to respect the man, and then on top of that, actually know how to demand respect.
Yeah.
Because dudes out here be slipping, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Dudes out here be slipping. They don't know how to be treating their women properly.
Probably.
They take advice from like these dudes that are like Andrew Tate, where like, you got to be the man, and then they use that as an excuse to be a fucking dick.
Yeah.
That's another whole fuck. That's a different thing. But there's good women out there, bro. I've met those women.
What's the I don't know. I think what's that one that I was talking about the other day? I was talking to you. We met her at the club. Not the club. We met her at the bar. Sorry, the club wasn't that good. And I was like, yo, it was like, bro, I showed you her story today. You know what I'm talking about? If this goes for like a second longer, she's gonna be dead.
I'm forgetting her name.
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't know her name is. Anyway, man, let
Hispanic,
me see.
Right?
Yeah, this Hispanic joint.
Latinos are the shit, bro.
Is she a good woman, right? I want to like shout her out and be like, yo, if you're a good woman, you know what I mean, slide in my DMs. But I can't remember her fucking,
I don't know.
Can't
Yeah,
remember
we met her
shit.
at the bar.
Yeah, let me see. Just one more try. Nope. All right, that's it. Not giving me any more gas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'm pretty confident I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been like, yeah, if you're not one of these Andrew Tate women, one of the women Andrew Tate talking about, like, just slide your boy DMs, man. You know.
Yeah, man. There's good women out there, bro.
Oh yeah, just like there's good men, man. Like that's, some of that stuff honestly be going viral. It's hard for me to get into, man, because it's like, bro, who the fuck are these? Like, these dudes gotta be like mad lame, bro. Yeah, mad clowns, bro. It's like,
but they create. That's the thing.
And then
it comes more to how entertaining is the content gonna be.
Exactly, and that's the thing is like people just creating content just to be like the most viral, the most like clout chasers. Like, it's cool. Like, if that's what you want to do to get views and to get like the most money and stuff like that, it's cool, man. Live your life exactly how you want to live. But like as Brallio said, bro, there's good women out there, man. Just like there's good dudes out there. It's just I think if you live in this bubble of like Hollywood, and of course that's
not the world.
Yeah, exactly. That's the women that you're gonna be meeting.
That's not even California,
you know what I mean?
Bro. Because people are like, "Oh, California," and then they're like, "So where are you from?" Like LA, and I'm like, "Nah, bro. Like California is so much bigger than LA."
Yeah.
And a lot.
I'm still looking for it, by the way, because I really wanted to slide an idea.
She is pretty.
Yeah, man. She like just my type. I mean, I don't know if she gonna take me off the streets. You know what I mean? But oh, that's right. I did message her. Let me see. Hopefully, it's like in the top.
This is the making of a fucking love story right now.
Nah, I don't know about that. You're going a little bit too far, bro.
Well, hold on. You just entertained the fact that she's gonna take you out. She could possibly take you off the streets.
No, possibly, man. But possibly is like quite far fetched. You know what I mean? Dova Guwap. That's her fucking name on IG. DOVAGUWOP. Bruv, slide in your man's DMs, bruv. Cause you know what I mean? Could possibly take me off the streets. Possibly. That's a little bit far fetched, but still. Anything else you want to let the people know, man? Because I think we've been going for like an hour and a half.
You know what the fuck feels good, like correct in your life? You know when you're bullshitting yourself. You know when you're doing something that's actually good.
Lick your lips a little bit. They're a little bit dry. Go ahead. I didn't want you to be speaking to people with dry lips.
You can bullshit yourself all you want.
Nah, you good, bro. You don't gotta put your heads up.
You know when you're doing something positive. You know when you're doing something that's bringing value to your life or to the life of others. Just don't bullshit yourself.
Boom. And I know, man, that's the fucking end of the podcast, man. Thank you so much for Brallio coming through. Yeah, I always enjoy these conversations, bro. Even if, like, they're on just YouTube and it's just on YouTube, like, even so, like, the experience of getting to talk to you and shit like that, it's always good for me, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. I'll bring some fucking chapstick next time.
No. It's just that we've been talking for so long, they just got a little dry. I had to throw that little pun in there to be a little bit, funny.
Crusty.
Just had to be a little funny. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. When I licked my lips, I was like, "Damn, these bitches are dry."
Bro, we talk forever.
It's good combos, bro. Yeah. It's good fucking combos.